The software. Today, I'm going to discuss about introduction of Django and how to create Django application, that is Hello World students. Okay, let me discuss about what is Django. A Django is a Python-based server-side framework to create a web application. We have React.js, JSP in Java programming, ASP.NET. Like that, using Python, if you want to develop website faster, that means quickly and efficiently, you can go for the Django. And Django follows MTV pattern. M stands for model, T stands for template, View stands for views. Model, M stands for model. So there is a models.py file. So inside it, we are going to keep some database related code. And the Django follows OOPS programming, that means object-oriented programming. So a model is a predefined class. So we'll discuss more about models later. Coming to the T, T stands for templates. So templates are nothing but HTML files used for presentation purpose. We'll discuss more about it later. And V stands for view students. Generally, views means presentation, but coming to Django, views is not a presentation. Views contains a business logic. There is a views.py file. When you are creating application folder, we are going to get this views.py file. We are going to write some business logic inside it, like for loops, okay, and whoops, functions. This type of coding is called a business logic. Now, what is the features of Django? So what are the features of Django? We'll see. I told you MTV architecture. So other programming languages like server-side technologies like JSP and ASP.NET follows MVC, and whereas Django follows MTV pattern. So by using MTV, we can easily to develop the Django website application faster. And it uses ORM framework. So ORM framework allows developers to interact with the database using Python code instead of writing SQL queries. So this makes database operations safe and easier. And there are some other features, admin interface and form handling, authentication, authorization, some more features. So all these features help us Django, we can create application faster, students. Okay, now we'll see how to install Django. How to install Django. Now, how to install Django? So we have to type the command pip install Django. Pip install Django. Now, we can create Django application. Any number of editors like a Notepad, or you can develop Python Django application in Python software. You can develop a Django project in VS Code. So wherever you can create Django project, so you must install Django library. So at the time of installation of Python, you don't get this library Django. So before creating first Django project, you have to install this library. So I'll go to the command prompt to install it. Pip install Django. I have already installed in my system, so I may get requirement already satisfied. You will not get this message, students. It will take some time to install. After that, you will get a message successfully install something like, okay? Yes. Now, we'll see how to create a Django project. So in a normal IDLE or Notepad, something like. So next class, we'll see how to create Django using VS Code, students. Okay, the first step you have to type the command is Django admin start project, the project name. So this is the predefined command, students. Up to here, this is the predefined command. This is the name of the Django project. It can be any name, students. Okay. Now I'll create a folder. Inside it, I'm going to create I'm going to keep all the Django projects. So for example, Django batch 30 something. So here you can just place the mouse cursor and type cmd. Okay. Now you can type this command. Django admin start project name. Now project folder will be created, students. Project folder will be created. So if you go to that folder, again you have two files, subfolder with the name project folder and manage.py. So now if you open second, you have some predefined Python files which are generated by the command called Django admin. Now some important files, settings.py. Settings.py file means it contains some database configuration, templates configuration, etc. And URLs in .py file contains some URLs patterns information. We'll discuss more about it later. You can see next. And what about manage.py? You can see there is another file called manage.py. So this is also predefined file generated by the Django, like Django-admin command we use it, right? So that command generated this file. So this is the code used by the server. You know, Django is a server-side scripting or server-side programming. It needs a server to execute it. So server is a software, right? Server is some programming software. So this is the code used by the server. So we don't write any single line of code inside manage.py. Just don't bother about manage.py. Just for the purpose of server, we are having this file. Suppose if you are getting any error, like Django admin is not recognized as internal or external command while creating this project, command project or command like Django admin, you have to follow this procedure. What is the procedure is you have to create a virtual environment. You have to create virtual environment and you can change the directory to script folder. And then you can change the directory to scripts folder and you please type the command called activate. After that, you can type cd dot dot enter key. That means it will move to the previous directory, and again you can type cd dot dot. It will move to the previous directory. So this virtual environment is required whenever you want to deploy the project into Django project into some remote system. Okay, but some like Windows 11 and some laptops, some Windows 11 operating systems, some of the systems laptops will get this error called Django is not recognized as internal or external command. Then you can follow this procedure. After that, you can create the Django project. Okay. Only if any person gets the error like Django -admin is not recognized as internal or external command, then only you can follow this procedure. Otherwise, you can follow normal procedure. Okay. And then we should change the directory. So this is the project directory, right? It is a Django project. After that, we have to create a application folder. What is this application folder? Yeah, a Django project can have multiple applications. Like for example, school management, there is admissions related code is going to be kept inside admissions folder, and students information is going to be stored under students folder. Teachers information stored in the teachers. Easy to organize. For easy to organize, so we are having it. We are going to create different folders. Okay, in Django project also we have to create application folders. You can create any number of application folders. In this project, I'm going to create only one application folder. How to create it is Python manage.py startup. Up to here, it is a command. It is a command. You should write it in lowercase. It's a case sensitive, and we have to type the application folder name. It can be any name. So now I'll type this command. Now what happened? If you see the folder, the project folder, you'll have a application folder. If you open it, you have some predefined files. Some important files are migrations, admin.py, models.py, views.py. We'll discuss more about them later. Okay. So today class, I'm going to show you how to work with the views part, and we can say that hello world application using Django project. Okay, hello world application using Django. Okay, now we have to register application folder name inside settings.py. That means we have to configure our application folder inside settings.py. Under installed as some predefined applications are going to be registered, and you have to register your application folder name, whatever the application folder name you are going to create. So in this project, we have created application folder name as desktop. Okay, I will open this desktop folder. That means settings.py, which is present in second folder, that means Django project folder. So under install docs, so these are all the predefined files, predefined applications. You have to keep the name, you have to mention the application folder name which you have created, okay? And follow the indentation. And you can have the database configuration in this file, students. You can see the database configuration. So by default, the Django provides a free database called SQLite. Okay, for testing purpose you can use. And Django provides a free server. You no need to install server externally, okay? And some templates information also we are going to keep here. So I'll discuss everything regarding templates, database later, okay? Now we'll follow the steps, then we'll understand better, student. You know, business logic is going to be kept inside views.py. The main file is views.py. Views.py is not a presentation purpose, it is for the business purpose, business logic purpose. Okay, now I'll explain this code. So we are going to display output on browser, right? So if you want to display output on browser, we don't use print statement. We should use a response, HTTP response. That means browser means a client is there, server is there. Client makes the request, server receive the request and give the response. So some server side Python code is there. This is the server side Python code. So by using HTTP response is a predefined class available under Django HTTP library to give the response by the server. And we can create two types of components, either function-based component or class-based component. In this project, I'm going to show you how to create a function-based component. You know, students, in Python, how to create a function with the def keyword and function name. It can be any name. And views.py receives the request from urls.py. Okay, so that means we need to pass first parameter as a request object. It can be any name, but we should pass one parameter and return HTTP response. And whatever the message you are going to type here, that will be displayed on browser, students. Now the request should be sent, right? So the request should be sent. So the urls.py, this is an important file. urls.py contains some URLs information, URL pattern information like www.google.com/something or home page. This kind of information we are going to keep inside urls.py. This many lines of code we no need to write, student, just 2 lines. By default, you are getting this many lines of code. Just you have to write this line and this line. Okay. And what is this line? You know, views.py file is present in a desktop folder. urls.py file is present in a project folder. That means we have to inform to the urls.py, views.py file available to the desktop folder. That means we are importing. And like I don't want to display output as a home page. I want to display output based on specified URL pattern called /first. So something based on URL pattern you want to type, for example, based on /first, I want to display hello world, then views.index. Index is a predefined, index is a function created inside views.py. So then you are getting hello world. That means first, now here you have to start the server, right? You have to start the server. This is the command to start the server. Python manage.py run server. Python manage.py run server. After that, you can send the request. How you can send the send request? When you start the server, it will show, it will return your website URL, and you should mention /first because you are specifying /first. Okay. Now, see, we'll execute these steps, students. We'll execute these steps. So we have created application folder. So that means up to here. And we have also registered. And from views.py code, we should see, student. I'll copy this code. So views.py file present inside desktop folder. You can remove this code and copy paste and follow the indentation. And go to the urls.py and add 2 lines of code. urls.py file present inside application, project folder, students. Just add 2 lines. If you don't want this code, you can remove all the code. You can add one line of code from test tab, import views. Or you can mention any name student, single quotes or double quotes, comma, views dot index function. Views dot index function. You can save the file and you can close the file. Now we should start the server by typing the command python manage.py run server. So if you don't get any errors, it will not show any errors. If you don't get any, if there is no errors in this program, it will not show any errors. Then it will return website name. So we are deploying Django project in a local server. For that, we are getting the website like this. If you are deploying the project in remote server means we have to deploy cloud, something like we have to purchase. Then we'll get a domain www.something.com. So this is a project we are deploying local server, right? You can copy this URL and paste it in browser. Enter key. Now you are getting page not found because it is expecting /first, right? /first. Now you are getting hello world. Okay, so these many steps you have to follow for creating every Django project, students. So thank you, students.